Doctor when we're talking about healthcare. If we have a housing question later, I get to go first and Chris goes second. Chris, he hit the nail on the head. It's the current bill that's out there right now, even if it did have good things in it, and I think there are a few points in there that they were pointing out today that one or two people I think agreed upon, but at, 27, 3,000, 4,000 pages, whatever it's at now, even if it was buried in there, it would be so hard to find it. It's so hard to implement something at that level. It's going to take on a life of its own, and it's going to end up spawning more legislation and more lawsuits. We have no idea what will come out of this thing in 10, 12, 15, 20 years, or where it will end up, because there's no way to interpret that. It needs to be simple and it needs to be precise. And more importantly, I think at this point, less is more. We need to reduce some legislation, not add more. The main thing, and Chris touched on some of these, is portability across state lines. You have to have that. You have to increase competition and allow the free market to take over. You also need to allow the states more involvement. It shouldn't be a federal mandate. There's different states, they have different age groups, they have different demographics, they have specific needs that should not be forced upon them by the federal government. These states need to be able to decide their own destinies at a much higher level and not worry about the federal government and what mandates and what costs they are being forced upon them. The other thing we need to do is we also need to focus on health, not just focus on the treatment of disease, but we actually need to look at the positive side of things and encourage Americans and offer incentives, whether it be tax rebates for gym memberships or nutrition counseling or whatever it may be, or reward employers that promote that for their employees, or insurance companies that offer incentives for their insured to go out and live healthier lives, to get nutritional counseling or gym memberships, and focus on making people healthier. Because if we focus and deal with things in a proactive, positive way on the front end, we automatically reduce costs on the backside. We help when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid. We're going to reduce the burden on the back end by increasing the number of healthy Americans. And that's something that in this debate you very rarely ever hear discussed. Tort reform is also obvious, needs to happen. Clear and fair pricing. If you walked into a doctor and you could shop online on the internet and find out what every procedure and every participant's going to charge you beforehand, it makes it a little bit easier for you to decide what to do. I was one of the uninsured there for a while. I'm a small business owner. I'm in real estate. It's tough out there. And one of the things that had to go was insurance. And I let it go. So I was one of the people that they were fighting over. And I was going to even write the White House and tell them that they could drop me off their list, that I'm okay. I'm covered now. And it's not that bad. But the thing is, when I went in to pay cash, they didn't want to take my cash. And they wouldn't offer me the same discount that they offer the insurance companies. But it was cheaper for me to pay cash, have a little discount, save my premiums that I would have been paying every month, and hope that I didn't have a catastrophic event. And it was a lot better for me that way.
All right, thank you, sir. And we will now go to Mr. Ward.
You're so